Stan Browney, a world-renowned fitness YouTuber, athlete, content creator.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
It's a pleasure to have you on the Bulletproof and Beyond podcast. It's like our third episode, and it's amazing to have you here.
Yeah, excited. Let's go.
So Stan, I mean, I know myself and the whole team have been a fan of your content for a long time. Probably one of the best current content creators.
Thank you so much.
You're killing it, bro.
Thank you so much, guys. That means a lot.
Doing really well, and to have you here with us in Malta, for this weekend is big vibes. People are very excited in Malta as well. A lot of people have been commenting and sort of like reaching out, like, Stan's in Malta. So that shows the power of what you're doing and the magnifying aspect of how you're communicating to so many people. So massive respect on that.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a pleasure so far. We've done some epic stuff already. Yeah. Met a lot of cool people. So I think so far Malta has been super great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I really want us to find the other side to Stan. I think there's Stan the entertainer, the YouTuber, but I think this is going to be a nice conversation to really get to know the person behind Stan Browney. Yeah. So that's...
No, that sounds interesting. I mean, a lot of people might see me as... because it's obviously very, very edited, or it's just high quality content, but very optimized. So there's definitely room for showing a bit more of me, but ask anything you want.
So you want to give us a bit of background, like 22, 23?
23.
It's young.
Yeah, I mean, what are you guys?
25.
25.
Yeah.
Young, everyone is young.
Yeah. So Stan, we did a bit of obviously research ourselves and just to get an understanding of what got you here, What's Stan's story?
My story really starts with, which is actually fun to talk about in terms of, because we're now on we're opening a calisthenics park, so it's really fitness related. But I started more than 10 years ago, really liking videos. So just making videos. You guys know the show iCarly?
Yeah.
They had a web show, right?
Yeah.
Tried to create that when I was 9. I just saw just have stuff on the TV, put it on a camcorder and just record. It was just creating content, and there was always already a link with online, but it was just making videos was I just found that really fun, and I think that's what sort of got me into stuff like that. And then at 13 years old, I saw YouTuber PewDiePie, very big. I saw him create content. I wasn't into gaming at all, but I thought, hey, I want to do something with video. He's literally doing this as a job. That's what I saw. That sounded like a dream job. I didn't even know how good, how well. I didn't even know YouTube was what that really... I just know he was doing that as a job. And I was like, that sounds like a dream job. Just me being able to make videos for a community. And I worked on that, put in the effort there, and it didn't work. I had a few hundred views a video. But still, it was a lot of fun together with a friend. My name is Sten. His name was also Sten.
Yeah.
And we made videos, and it was a lot of fun, but it just didn't really work. But I kept uploading for years and years just because I like making videos. And at some point, fitness came to my life, and that's when I really started rolling.
What type of videos were you creating at the beginning when you had those 5 years with this other guy, Stan?
It was a lot of different stuff. It was obviously because I started when I was 13, so there's a lot of random stuff happening that just catches your interest, right? So that's it started with gaming, because that's what PewDiePie was doing as well. Yeah. And that was really making YouTube almost big at that point. So I just started gaming, recording that. Besides the recordings, I didn't really game, but I did it together with Sten, and that was it was a lot of fun. Started creating that. At some point, at 187 subscribers, we were we're not recording enough, so we need to probably just change because it was called, the channel was 10 years ago, was called Epic Sten.
Epic Sten?
No wonder you say epic so much.
Epic, yeah.
Oh,
epic
word,
is my word, man.
That's your word.
Epic Sten is because Stan with an A, Sten with an E, Sten, sure.
Nice. Stonks. Nice,
brilliant. Yes. But that's when it started, and at 187 subscribers, we were probably not going to work because we couldn't really record. We were still obviously in school. That was taking a lot of time, a lot of other stuff, and I just took over the channel, called it Brownie, because my full name is Sten Bruining.
Browning.
That's my
Bruining?
Dutch. Yeah, that's my Dutch name.
Yeah.
But I was called Brownie before already, just as in the like I think in almost like kindergarten, just Brownie because it just rolled off the tongue nicer.
Stuck with you very elegant.
Yeah, and I liked it. Probably just Brownie as in the dessert sweet type of thing, but I just thought it was funny. Gave it my own twist. For some reason, at 13 years old, I thought that's funny. It looks nicer with the Y.
It's also crazy. Like a couple of months ago, I've been watching content for a long time, but I legit thought that was your surname, and I legit thought you were like American or Canadian.
Yeah.
And this is one of the craziest things, that your communication in English, you're from Netherlands, is incredible, man.
Thank you so much. A
Yeah.
lot of people from the Netherlands can speak English very well, so that really helps. But it's also just starting early. I started in English, not in Dutch, just because I was only watching English content, and I was only interested in English content. I was watching, I don't know why at 13, but I was like watching series like 2.5 Men. Like those are the you know those like
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that, completely English, just because that's just I don't know, that's how I grew up. But yeah, I took over the channel, called it Brownie, and started making the gaming videos. Sort of slowly went away into more skits type of style, so like sketches, written out stories, just what I thought were fun, scenarios. I also did a bit of acting before that, like 12 years old. So I just
That makes a lot of sense.
there was a lot of stuff that just came together, I think. Later on even more, because we went from the sketches to then at some point vlogs, where I did vlogs with I tried to do it like anything. It could be day in the life of a YouTuber, even though I only had 20,000 subscribers, but hey, still showed. And from that on, I also started working out in my life. So workout related, just workouts together with known today as the guy in the blue shirt. He got me into working out.
He's the one who got you into training?
Yeah, partly. He got me into working out. It was just a moment where it just clicked. Started working out. Tried to incorporate that into my videos. No one liked it. No one wanted to see any workout-related stuff because they were used to the scenarios, right? The sketches, whatever. But at some point I uploaded a 1-year body transformation, and everyone's like, "How did you do that? Can you show us more?" And that's when the workouts really started.
I've never seen like a photo of you before when you were a kid. No, never.
You haven't? Oh, that's interesting. I mean,
I can't picture like
Stan is beating us to the questions we had prepared. I was going to ask you about even the whole YouTube channel, and we did some homework that you had a goal with Stan, which was to reach 200,000 subscribers to travel the world.
Oh,
And he dropped off at 180, which is crazy, to think about, even from his point of view, that journey that he sort of missed out on, in a sense. Obviously, all of that hard work and things that go into it. But that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, Stan, that's true, and that's very interesting. I'm not even sure which video that was where you saw that.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Yeah. It's like gotta be one of the, because there's also some earlier videos like privated right now, and I would assume it would be in one of those, but apparently it's not, which is interesting. Yeah. But
Nicola did some good
yeah,
homework.
that's some good research, because I remember us saying that. I didn't even know it was on camera, so that's interesting. But so you blew me away now. But the goal, I don't know exactly why that number, but I think we were just, you got to keep in mind, like 13-year-olds.
Yeah. So you set this goal at 13 years old.
Yeah, we were like two 13-year-olds like talking to each other, right? Just so you got to keep that in mind. But it's like, yeah, man, at 200,000, we were not thinking about the money aspect at all. It was just like he's doing it as a job. PewDiePie, it is possible. How sick of a job is that? Yeah. So he's doing that for a living. He just seemed to just live normally, and was like, that's just a dream.
It's like the childhood, teenage dream, you want to become a professional football player or basketball player or like a famous person, and that's kind of your...
Yeah, and But yeah, so he's a great guy. Still great friends with him, and he is he kind of, so you could say missed out, but on the other hand, it's just completely different than what we did, and he looks at that like that as well. It's just I have no clue where we would have been right now if we continued Epic Steen. I would assume we would have pivoted the content either way, but I don't think it would have gone into this way necessarily, because then it went in such a fitness route. Yeah. Of course.
I think even, as cliche as it sounds, things do happen for a reason. So I think that obviously that showed that was your line to take on. That was the next step, the next pusher to divert and just get more creative and focus more on Stan Browney now.
And that is what happened, because I had now more creative freedom, more time to just make decisions myself faster. And yeah, I think obviously it didn't go that well still for years, but I loved it.
I mean, that's insane to think about how, one Stan dropped off at 180 and now the other Stan is at 2.4 million subscribers. Not as a comparison, far
exactly.
from it.
I wouldn't look at it as a comparison.
Not his avenue, but to think of how things have changed and escalated for you as a creator and as an individual is insane, dude.
Yeah, it took, obviously, it's just years and years of it's all what you said, kind of, it all just happened falling in place, and it just took a lot of time, but that's all fine. I mean, 10 years is fine in terms of, as you know, or if you know that what you do you really like, then it doesn't really matter, because you just keep going and things will just happen. And that's what happened with the types of content that I made. And then,
what are the most, like, if you're speaking to like a 13-year-old right now, and you had to like tell them, listen, these are my tips to kind of, become a better person or become more successful. Like, what is kind of your 2 cents, your advice to?
That's a very simple one for me. It's like, do what you love, but then like do it a lot. Just keep doing it, because there's just a lot of, which makes sense. We're not talking about 13-year-olds, but we could be talking about 30-year-olds, because they could be saying like, I think I know what I like, but I'm not too sure, and they just leave it a bit on the side, and they are overthinking a bit too much, or just not doing it. Do it 24/7. If you really like it and you have the time, or you just spend all the time you have, basically, just spend it on that. Just, you will grow in that.
Yeah, I also think as well, because obviously you are at quite a good feat at the moment for a 22-year-old individual. And I think when we interview and we speak to a lot of people who are kind of already at a good success level, you can call it, success story, and there's still way more to come for you, I think they go through a lot of hardships back in the past. I think that people are a sum of their experiences, and I think to become capable as an individual, I think that there are some stories that you went through or people go through to become the person they are today, standing strong and tall and with their head held high. And maybe this is where we can go a bit back into your experiences when you were younger, to see like, okay, this is who Stan is today, and this is how I came here.
And I mean, I grew up with great parents, supporting parents, nice place. So there's like, it's not starting from the bottom or anything like that. It's just I think, like you said, what you have to go through is or you will go through automatically if you do stuff like this. It's all about basically no one believing in you, and then you just doing it. It's just going to be negative feedback or backlash, or it's just going to be not working, and that's for years and years straight, and that's how you learn, and that's how you push through. And it doesn't, for me, it's not, and luckily it's not been like I had to come from zero in terms of it's not like we had a lot of money or something. It's just I could borrow or steal my dad's camcorder, luckily, to record the first videos, for example. So that helped. But for me, it started. It all just comes together, I think, when I was a bit younger, and I was never fit, a bit chubbier. I was always the fatter kid, and that stuck with me for a long time.
It's crazy just hearing you say that. Now you're like the challenge guy of YouTube.
I mean, it's and I'm glad that I made that shift myself, because I'm super into fitness, of course, like lifestyle right now. And yeah, when you're younger, you sometimes you don't really care. But I was the fatter kid, never popular, more alone. But yeah, it was yeah. Anything specific you want to know?
Yeah. Like how important like was the fitness side of your life to the success as well? Like imagine you had the graph and you had like kind of your channel yourself as a person as well, and you're seeing the graph, and then when fitness came into play, not just speaking from a content point of view, because it's like, okay, the fitness content helped you become the person you are today, but in an individual life person.
Because to do the content, you had to love what you're doing, which is fitness.
100%. No, yeah, that's so we have my basically I started making the content, and then fitness came into play. I made vlogs. No one wanted to see it, but then I uploaded the body transformation, but fairly soon. So we replied on that video. It got hundreds of thousands of views. People were like, we need a tutorial, whatever. Like, what workouts are you doing? Diet. So I made those videos. But, I mean, I was 17.
What year was this?
2017.
No.
And I didn't really feel like first of all, you can make videos as fun as you want yourself, but I felt like tutorials were pretty still, especially in that moment. No one was really doing entertainment fitness. It was all pretty still, pretty basic. And I was 17. I didn't feel like I had the credibility to just keep pushing out tutorials. I was still learning myself. I had 1 year under my belt, like not an insane amount. Yeah. And I tried to shift pretty fast to more entertaining fitness-based stuff, which was like challenges, and that worked. I just tried to more so even if I did a tutorial on how I learned the handstand myself, more like anecdotally from experience, it would have been it would have write a story. It wouldn't just be in front of the camera explaining it. It would be going back and forth, maybe even write some scenes, write some stories, write some jokes, voiceover, stuff like that, to make it more different.
Engaging. And that is your secret sauce. I think you are definitely one of the best storytellers when it comes to content and communicating something and keeping people there. And in essence, you also helped create the next generation of fitness influencers, if you want to call them, and a lot of upcoming younger fitness entertainers. Yeah. You know, and now that is probably like the biggest thing that's happening right now with obviously the growth of social media platforms like TikTok and Shorts and, you know, just fun, 100%. The next gen of PewDiePies, in essence.
Yeah,
the fitness PewDiePies. Mr. Beast.
That's exactly it.
It's in the fitness, right? It's in the fitness industry that's where things were going, or have been going for quite some time now, since 2021 maybe 2020, where just like on TikTok, also obviously YouTube is where it started, but TikTok, Instagram, it's just the most of fitness content you see is entertaining content. Yeah. If you are into fitness, or maybe even not, you can watch that content. Yeah. So that's super interesting.
And you said that right, like before that age, it was sort of like the 2015, even 14, the sort of like bodybuilding.com type of how-to or demo videos, which are long
six-pack
form,
shortcuts,
educations, like you're going to sit down, take some notes type of thing. Now the shift has completely gone to the other end of the spectrum, you know?
And even compare it with us, like when we started Bulletproof, we were no like certified personal trainers. So we had to find other things to create content on when it comes to fitness. Yeah. So we started creating like events, inviting trainers over, creating this like space for these people, not only to educate, but also to entertain as well. Yeah. So like when we created the event on the boats and we tried to create these outdoor gyms, it's always trying to pioneer fitness from a different angle more than just the tutorial stuff. People love that, but it's like we needed something new in the fitness scene.
You want to keep evolving, and that's also why I think it's funny that it's all because it keeps going back to what you said, like things happen for a reason, or just keeps happening. It just builds up, right? I started with sort of trying to create an iCarly version of something at 9 years old that never seen a day of light, luckily online, but I still created it.
Can we have one of these?
No,
I really want to see one
of
these.
I actually don't have it anymore, but I have it's a shame, but I did it with another guy even, not Sten, but it was funny. Like I started with that. There's a bit of acting, a bit of story there, and then it combines into YouTube videos, go from gaming to different types of content, and then fitness, try to combine fitness into the videos. Then we had the era of obviously where Mr. Beast was coming up, so more optimized videos. I was already doing more entertainment fitness videos, but he was doing more optimized videos, which is like looking at the analytics, actually doing something with the analytics, conceptually doing stuff, because I was doing more entertainment, but it could still be a boring vlog in my opinion. Like I was still trying to push out content.
So it's like instead of putting 2 hours into the video, pre-planning, you're putting in 20 hours.
Yes.
It's a science, in essence. I really do believe that type of content has to be so well thought out.
It's very well thought out, especially now because we have a full-on team and it just takes 100 hours to produce a video or more, and that's or 90 days. But it just all comes together. So it's just pivoting content, making it better and better every single time. So no clue where we are in 5 years, but yeah, it's funny.
So I have a question. What's usually the process of one of the YouTube videos? Like with the team, the back and forth, maybe you just want to walk us through what usually happens?
Yeah. So you, right now for a video, it can be, inspiration can come from anywhere. Someone from the team can have seen something, I can have seen something, but we can also have come up with something that is just interesting in general in terms of, we did this before, maybe this is a twist on it, or this is something completely new. For the past years, I always tried to come up with something new, and that really slows down your process. So now we also take more inspiration from what's happening, or something that we just really want to try. Like, for example, if there's a crazy challenge, and we're like, it's not new because a lot of people have done it already. Let's not do it. But now more recently, we're like, we want to do it. It's an epic challenge. We think that the viewer will enjoy it, and it could do well. Let's do it. But as soon as we have the idea, which can come from anywhere, we talk about, obviously, is it going to be a good video? What can we do in the video, conceptually? But is it also, as a concept, a good video? So is the packaging good? Can we have a title, thumbnail that works? If we don't have a title, thumbnail, ID, even after like hours of brainstorming, we don't do the video. Because if you don't have that packaging, you can just stop right away. Because every video takes anywhere between 3 to... more than, we've had 15,000 to produce a video. So we can't just be like, you know what, we want to make this, let's just spend that amount of money and it will probably do shit. That's just not how it works.
Do you have
anymore.
like a video that you ever produced and that took a lot of time, revisions? Look at his face, Andres. Looking.
Shit in the answer.
Like
that
like
never went out.
It's like it happened to us once where we put in about 15 hours into this like content piece and it never went out anywhere, rolled out.
A lot more than once.
Yeah, I want to ask the same question to you.
Yeah, so kind of. We recently had this where when we do a 30-day challenge.
Okay.
I always try to have a concept, and we are with the two. So to simply put this, we are with also the guy in blue shirt, Aryan, very big part of the channel right now. We have a similar level in fitness. Like if you have a beginner in fitness, we have an intermediate, and we are the pros. But if you do a 1, 2, 3 different types of people, then there's no need for 2 pros because you just have beginner, intermediate, and advanced, right? But that's kind of fun because then I can be the host presenter because then everyone is objective in the video, which is nice. Yeah. But I don't want to be the presenter and do nothing. So I always, if I give them a challenge, which is like do 100 push-ups every day for 30 days or whatever, 200 push-ups for 30 days, then I will do 333 push-ups every single day because that's 10,000 in a month. So I will do a bit more because otherwise it feels like I'm just a host and do nothing. Yeah. But we couldn't really come up with one for 100 pull-ups because if I do more, 10,000 is impossible. That's going to break your body in a
30
month.
days.
Yeah.
Because 100 pull-ups a day?
That's 333 pull-ups a day for 30 days. Well, I knew I wasn't going to, because that would fuck up all my other work. I knew I wasn't going to do that.
And I'm just going to communicate for the viewers. That reason was because of the title, not because the 10,000 pull-ups.
Yeah. So if that's
so people understand your thought process and if the title isn't banging, you know.
So that's a pretty cool title, but otherwise we were like 10,000. I'm gonna do less, but no. So that's not gonna work. Yeah. So 100 pull-ups, or I did a challenge which was super viral as well, which was 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups in under 5 minutes. I did that every single day until I could beat it, 34 days. But we did that, and we did that in a rush because we had the same recordings on the same day. We had everything planned out for the pull-ups, which the video turned out amazing. It's online, Super happy with it. But then that video, it was shot like months ago, and it just came out. It was like months and months ago when I did that. But we couldn't get the title thumbnail right, so I changed the title thumbnail 5 times, titles 10 times.
Oh my God.
Didn't like it. Created an entire intro, green screen, visual effects. Didn't end up using it. So the video turned out different because eventually the intro and the hook of the video turned out different. We called it like one of the hardest challenges because it's like, we wanted to call it most deceptive challenge but it was just too hard to explain to the viewer. So we went back and forth. Eventually it was online because we spent so much time on the video, and it was a 30-day challenge that I wasn't going to not put it online because the story in the video was great. The video was great.
How are you gonna grab them?
The hook was impossible to get, and that's what took like months. And the video still didn't do very well because it just wasn't well thought out enough in the beginning. So we even sharpened that up after that. So right now, if we are not, the first time we hear someone says the title and the thumbnail ID or says the title, and not everyone is like, that's it, not doing it. So it has to be, and
you have to have that click, like
it needs to click, and you just know when someone says a title, it just clicks.
So it's so important, like that last bit, which goes the longest way. It's like it's the home run,
and that's
part
why
of the project, you know.
That's why we do it first now. So we were talking about that. Like it's just ID can come from anywhere.
Prioritize.
So walk us through that like process that you kind of do right now.
The ID can come from anywhere, and then title, thumbnail. We need to have that storyline in the video. That's what we write out then. So that's like the third step. If we're there, we need to write that out, and then see. Obviously, of course, is it even feasible? Is it even doable? Do we have an idea that's impossible? Logistically, exactly. Planning. Because we can have a sick video ID which requires an insane set and 4 fitness YouTubers, but we first need to fly those out. So is that even possible on the same date? Exactly. Super hard. Right? Exactly. So that's one of those things. So we need to think about that. And from then on you plan, but because you plan with, like right now, that's very hard because a lot of people are still in school and university. Really good that they're still finishing that. Then they're going full time into the team, which is nice. I have to work with 5 to 7 agendas for certain videos. That's just almost impossible. Also the part I hate the most, planning.
You're involved in all steps of the process, I'm guessing, yeah?
And then we have the shooting, which we have just planned certain shots, IDs, bullet points, but you never know what happens during a challenge, right? It's just all raw. I mean, I can't write in, well, you can, but I can't write in that we did a challenge recently where we did 10,000, we had to burn 10,000 calories and eat 10,000 calories in a day.
In 24 hours?
In 24 hours, yeah. Worst challenge I've ever done.
The video's out or no?
Yeah.
It's out?
It's a crazy video.
Oh, damn.
But somewhere in the morning, halfway through the video, I just got insane cramps and my legs, and I couldn't move, and I forgot to drink. But you can't write that in. Like, it's so specific that obviously you shouldn't write it in because it's more.
Adds drama to the script, though.
Yeah, but it just happened.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing. And we still managed to continue, which I was super happy about because I thought it was over. But like those are just the raw moments, and I don't want to write those in because it just happens. That's how we bounce off each other as well. Like we just have a good dynamic, Arjen and I. And so we have shot the video. That's when luckily now you have an idea of what the video should be, where you work towards, but then the editing still takes 100 hours to edit because we have like so many people to edit on it. It's just sometimes 90 days sometimes of like we have footage, which is someone is vlogging every single day for 90 days straight for a few minutes. So you already have all those vlogs, then you have a day 1, 3
That's
cameras.
A lot of comping, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of process. Like I noticed that over the weekend that you're a very high level process oriented person as well. And I think it's like, I wanted to kind of ask you this question of how do you manage to keep that in mind, keep that mental shift, because a lot of creatives find it very hard to keep a process and operation in play, whilst you have that creative aspect and the process at the same time to keep the wheel going. Because I was seeing you on Notion and on your projects and calls, WhatsApp channels, and with Andre, liaising with him, and at the same time you're coming up with his ideas, and same with Andre. So you're both very process driven, but at the same time there's a lot of creativity coming through that process.
It's a very good point, that.
Yeah, I think it's just the way, like, It's hard to answer this question for yourself because it's just how I feel like it should be in terms of, I love being creative. I have a lot of ideas and I work really well with other people that are very creative. So Andre is a phenomenal to work with because he's super creative. Like he's
great.
He's insane. So
he's legit editing right now.
He's working hard.
Champion.
He's insane.
What a hustler.
Yes, super work ethic.
Oof,
and then we're in the car and then he's like, I have this idea, and it's like, that's perfect to bounce off. And then I'm like, that's good, and I think we should do it like this and this and this because then it would do better, or works better, or it's just more fun. But then in a way that's the creative process, right? But I feel like I've always been optimized focused. So if I spent 100 hours on 10 videos or 100 hours on one video, I'd rather spend 100 hours on one video that is just really good and has more potential on being optimized. And if it's still just fun. So I'm optimized focus, and in order to be optimized, you need to have a structure. You need to have a process in place, because otherwise it's all a mess. You have no clue what's coming up, especially if you have, that's kind of almost killing, but especially if you have, I don't even know how many channels we have over all platforms, then you need to have a process in place if you want to upload every single Tuesday, Friday, Sunday.
Take us through it. So you are the person as well who's planning the content plan. So for example, next week, like Monday, so today's Saturday, Monday, are you the guy planning out what's going out on this day, or
per platform?
How does it work exactly?
So we have for YouTube, the main channel, it's the main channel has the least structure, funny enough, because we don't rush content there. If the content isn't finished, it's not finished. Because everything flourishes off that. Everything works off of that, because those videos get, in a process, structured. They get edited into smaller pieces, different pieces, vertical pieces. So they need to be good. That needs to be perfect, which makes the others easier. But for the shorts channel, it's like, all right, we upload on Tuesdays and Fridays every single week, and then we have 2 Snapchat shows. Both we upload, one on Friday, one on Sunday, and I have TikTok, Instagram, so we have planned in OnlyFans as well. We plan that in, so every single Monday is Instagram. Thursday's Instagram, Saturday Instagram, stuff like that.
Is it that set type of thing, like ruleified?
No, those are really ruleified, set, because otherwise it didn't happen, because there's just so much. And then, so those are structured. And then to say what content is going online, main channel, it's all on me. But shorts, for example, and Snap, the man behind me, he's like, he tells me what he thinks we should do, and then I bounce off that with I think we should do that. Can we put that to another week? I think we should do this. And then I approve and change. And I do the same for the other channels, which have other structures, but I do the same for others, which Johannes, also very, very great guy, good YouTuber and friend and editor of mine, who does the short channel reaction videos and snaps. It's complicated if you don't see it in front of you, because there's a lot of stuff. And then you have my girlfriend who helps me with all the other stuff, planning of Instagram and TikTok, and make sure that, which is also an interesting thing, actually, the saving of all these projects, because it's so much footage every single week or so much content. You want to save that. If you don't save it, you're stupid, because you can't, there's people who put a lot of time and effort into this piece of content. They're great. What if another platform pops up and you can re-upload those? Happened with Facebook. We have some problems with Facebook. If someone can help me, please help. But we have some problems with Facebook. And but Facebook is a great platform to upload to. Boom, we upload Snapchat there as well, which are the more vertical content, but also the shorts. We re-upload those there, and then you just have everything ready. And that's also, because my girlfriend is also Sydney. She's very, very structured based as well. Works really well with Notion, and she structures the short content there, make sure everything is downloaded and saved.
Man, it's inspiring.
I mean, I personally can resonate to you a lot, but I think Adam's point was really interesting, because even from the past and working with a variety of creators, it's either one or the other in a lot of circumstances. Like most people are either very creative and then lack that structure, or very structured, and then when they're too structured, they lack creativity. And it is normal for us to have both, because creativity is nothing without execution and maximizing, and creativity could kill in essence if there's no structure. But then, you know,
But
so
where-
many people lack it.
What I think that, going back to what Stan's main message was of the doing, like you do so much that the creativity is always there. So it's part of the process. And that's what I started like to kind of figure out with you guys.
Yeah, so if you talk about the creative part, I think, which is, just to be honest, I think it's part of someone. If someone is not creative, you can't really force yourself to be creative. You can get better at it, but that's why the best people in the world, like high performers that are not creative, they hire the most creative people in the world. Like, so they're smart about it. You have to acknowledge it. And not everyone is creative. And that's it's not just a good or a bad thing, I would say, because some people that are not creative at all are just so structured and so efficient because they are not distracted very fast, for example. So you have to just work with your powers, right? And you can work on every single strength, but I know with who I really work with, I mean, because he's both, he works hard, Andre works hard, and he's very creative. I like that the most. But sometimes I also work together with a phenomenal Photoshopper, and he is pretty creative for his own stuff as well. But he is just more, I think he's more just straight to the point. And if you tell him to do something, and you have to give him a vivid description, because he's going to do exactly what you say. He's not going to add a lot of different creativity to it. He will do it. He will do it fast. He will do it perfect, like the best Photoshop you've ever seen. But you have to give him a precise description. And it's great. It just works super great, because if he would have been maybe more creative in the process, it would take him 3 times as long. And then maybe I wouldn't even like it as much, because he just got too much besides the point. So it's like,
You know what you're getting.
yeah, you have to get straight to the point, right? You have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And I know with who I work with for what really works. And I think that, yes, you have to play with those strengths.
Stan, now, I mean, you've worked with a lot of different creative, you know, logistical people and influencers and YouTubers. Who have been the best you have worked with or had the most fun working with till now?
I've had a lot of fun with a lot of different people. It's been insane just with working together with brands like Gymshark has helped me a lot to connect with certain people. So there's a lot of pros there. But I would say that the most fun collab I've done was with Wim Hof, like the Iceman. It's just an inspirational human being. He's very, very interesting and very nice to work with. Very down to earth guy, but also just the video we produced, the story, everything, it just was perfect. And it was just so much fun to make every single part of it. And I have so many cool ideas with a lot of similar people. We just need to reach them, and it's super hard to reach big names like that. It frustrates me sometimes just because I have such a cool idea, such a cool video idea, but story-wise. If the story is so good and I just want to make the video, I know I just said we will skip something if the title thumbnail doesn't work. But if it would be a Wim Hof type of, like, I would don't.
And that came to my next question, like, who would you love to work with? Who's on your list? Who are your top 3, you know, people that this has to happen?
It has to happen. Yeah.
It has to happen.
So I would love to show some more of the magic of an extreme high performance athlete, so like a top athlete. Obviously, we all know names in terms of everyone knows a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Messi. I mean, that's going to be impossible, but just show
Like
what
Haaland,
because there's so much, well, not secrecy, but more like no one really will experience that life, but also the work that goes in, because I feel like it's, for most athletes, it's just undervalued or undermined how much they put in, because their entire life is sport or is their sport. And it just looks like, oh, they just play tennis. They just score a goal and they get paid. I think that's even Formula One. Like, it's just all these things that would be crazy. But I also have, there's also people with other stories. There's a guy called the Dutch Giant I would love to record with, just because he has I think a very interesting story, and just a very hard worker. Now got into Hollywood as someone who, like, if you would see him probably years ago, you would not think he would probably struggle in life, and now he's doing insanely well. So, like, stories like that.
Nice.
Yeah, people like that.
So on sports, give me 3 names.
Give me 3 names.
3 names. You
I
have to
mean,
name
I
them
can give
now.
you crazy names.
You know who they are. I
can
can tell you know who they are.
I can give you crazy names. Wait, can I search them up?
Yes,
Because I mean, I can say, like I said, I can say a Formula One Max Verstappen, or I can say a football. It could be Premier League.
Haaland will be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, really
Exactly.
cool.
I think that's really cool
That would be
collab
that
too.
would be fucking good, right?
Yeah, a mad collab.
That would be
Yeah.
so good. But I mean, these people are unreachable. Actually, he would be maybe number one in sports because for me to work with, because he is still so relatable, but also unrelatable because he has such a insane come up and lifestyle because of what happened in terms of he's just so he's a machine.
Yeah.
His work ethic, everything. So he would be number one.
Same
on the
age,
list.
and I could picture
Yeah,
already like
yeah.
the YouTube thumbnail
Yeah,
and the challenges on the pitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's possible though for you.
No, I don't think it's possible at all. And
You
I don't
don't?
think no, because these people. I mean, I would love to say yes and be very confident, but I've tried a lot, and no one has been really very, very interested. Like I'm just going all out on these names, right? And I was super happy when Wim Hof said yes. He was a little bit less well known back then as well, but I mean, maybe if sometime their management is interested, yeah.
I think there are means and ways. Maybe we'll talk a bit off camera about that. But if we get into string, I think it's possible.
Maybe a strategy, no?
Maybe with enough cash.
Cash aside.
Part of the strategy.
Yeah.
Nice. So who else? Maybe some young and upcoming or, industry fitness staples that you'd like to work with?
For some reason, I can't think of a lot of names right now. There's also people that just have interesting stories, but those are more in the workout niche with like a Hafthor Björnsson or something like that. They're like the mountain. But there's also like just a similar story to the Dutch giant.
Yeah. You seem to like big guys.
And big guys, yeah. That's my taste.
Andre. He's so focused.
Yeah,
man.
he's focused.
Such a champion. But any of these, like, I don't know, maybe I see people who are like similar in terms of your type of approach to like entertainment, like a Jesse James. West,
Exactly. So obviously, but those are
bit of these guys.
Those I'm working on right now, and they are very in reach. So that's going to be very possible.
That's very you, maybe a David Goggins-esque.
David Goggins
type of guy,
is a really
very
good one.
challenge entertainment. Maybe the three of you with James is like a crazy collab right
David
there.
Goggins, yeah, man. I mean, but David Goggins, which I also really respect. I don't know how he chooses things or values things, but he seems such a focused man that. For some reason, in my mind, I wouldn't know why he would care about YouTube. For some reason, I just don't think he even if you would ask him any YouTuber's name, he wouldn't know any.
I probably think you're right. Just like 2 cents on that. He's actually the reason behind the brand name of Bulletproof. It was actually
Bulletproof coffee.
but like Bulletproof culture.
Yeah. But I was like, maybe it's Bulletproof coffee.
No, could be. Maybe he was there as well. But he was a big inspiration for us of like how to push yourself to a level where no matter what happens, his story, you can essentially get through it. You will get through it. Not you can, you will, stay hard type of mentality where he's so focused on that end goal of pushing limits. So that was the inspiration, and that would be, ultra fanboy moment to actually collaborate with someone like him. And I think if it goes for the thumbnail-esque type of content, maybe he won't resonate, but I think mindset and journey and, really resonating with people, which is what obviously he did to us, and he does to millions every single day. I think that would be an interesting approach.
That would 100%, and I think we would definitely want to go for that.
There's a cool idea. Once I was seeing a podcast of this guy with Joe Rogan, and he was saying that he did this. He was like a C-level individual.
Jesse Itzle. I don't really know him. There's another guy, a high operator, and he basically got Goggins over for a week to live with him, and the story is mad. Like, he lived with him, so he told him, get out, let's stay out, go out, motherfucker, let's go out. Yeah. So at 4 a.m., they're waking up, they're going into the fucking...
A week?
For a whole week.
A week of David Goggins' time, whether he probably paid for that.
Yeah, he probably did. It was a long time ago, but
like
there was a point where the television came on.
Maybe.
Like
15.
Yeah, 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
The television came on and it was like breaking news. The weather's horrible, it's snowing, it's really bad. And Goggins was like, oh great, let's go for a run. And he did a whole week with this guy, pushing him to limits. His wife was driven mad because Goggins was there. Like he went into meetings with him, like C-level meetings, and he's like, dude, you need to wrap up. We need to go for a run, or we need to go for an ice bath. So maybe that could be something crazy to
sick,
communicate the Goggins lifestyle.
Yeah, but the thing is that these are the perfect ideas that are just. I've been, and I'm not gonna say that that's gonna keep me from not trying again, but I've been like turned down those ideas, or not even had replies in the past 2 years so often. I just came up with those ideas, but and that kind of makes sense because who wants to spend more than, because I want to do something new, right? I want to not just live like someone for 24 hours and then not even have them in the video. Like that just, I don't do those videos. I really don't like those videos in terms of, it could be cool to try out a routine for 7 or 30 days. It's different. I'm not saying that I will never do those, that I've never done those, but there's just a difference that I try. I'm probably actually going to do more of those videos because I want to try routines and I want to try those things, but I tried for 2 years straight. That's why for the past 2 years, or actually you can find on my channel, you can find 0 of those videos where I lived like someone without that person. Because I tried to do more original stuff where I actually got them into the video for more than that. I just stayed with them for 24 hours or like maybe even a week or something crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone just says no. Everyone. It's crazy. And it makes sense in the day and age that we live in. Everyone's time is worth maybe more, or they are worth, they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm not, why would I spend that? Because because the names that you want to use, or in terms of that you want to live like, they are already big.
Yeah.
And it
has to be like, it has to be angled in a very authentic experience.
And I get it.
Capture that. So we're going to capture this, but we're going to try this out for 24 hours and maybe to them make it feel less content driven and make it feel like we're going to actually enjoy this and experience this and see how it goes. And then we're just going to capture the content around it. It's still not easy though. I 100% know where you're coming from.
Imagine like a dream team of that. Like I don't know. I start thinking about maybe even getting people like Andrew Huberman in, sort of like the science coach, you know, behind this crazy concept.
Yeah, so
you have Goggins, who's the stay hard coach, you know, point of view, Wim Hof's, and you create like this dream team of.
Yeah, that's perfect, but that's a utopia. That's not.
Yeah, I know.
So Stan, give us a bit of like a background of what you do apart from like your YouTube, your like, or is it like, are you 100% every day? Like weekends, do you go out for dinners? Do you like what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So, right now I'm just in the studio or traveling 24/7. I'm basically in the studio from 8:30 till whenever needed. I try to go home at 8 in the evening every single time because then I start having dinner, wind down with my girlfriend, and go to sleep. That's kind of the routine I have right now, 7 days a week, and working out in between. 5 times a week, and then some. I still play football, which is also fun. So that's it's a lot of exercise and working out, which I love. And then besides that, just planning, editing, everything we just mentioned. But no, there's not a lot of going away, dinner stuff that I want to. I want to do more often because I have seen how much I enjoy doing that as well, and just experiencing life rather than just doing making videos, which is like. Obviously a bit more than that, but I really like that. But I also know that it's better for myself. I'm not just focused on one video for 100 hours straight, and then at some point I just don't even know what to cut out anymore, or I'm just like, this video is becoming too stale, and then I can cut a great 25-minute video into a 10-minute video just because I've seen it too often, and I just need to have my mind off of certain things because otherwise I feel like I'm in the loop.
Learn how to switch off sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't know how to.
We're sort of learning.
I feel like now you're at a very stage of like this hustle era phase in your life. And when did this really like get into play, like this full-on process? Like before that, maybe we were 19, 20, you were maybe going out more. Or was it like, at what age did you say like, listen, I'm going tunnel vision into this kind of thing? Like when did that?
What was the change? Maybe a video. I think it was a video going viral.
When did that switch go on?
So actually, never. That's the crazy thing. I think I started from a point where I wanted to always prove that I can do it. I can do stuff, and I've always had negative feedback in terms of you know, you start YouTube. People are like, "The fuck are you doing? Why are you putting yourself on the internet?" I was 13 years old. YouTube wasn't as common as well. Everyone thinks you're a clown, and you just want to prove to them that there's even more motivation to do so. So I was doing high school, like just decently the highest level that you can do in the Netherlands, which is 6 years. It just took a lot of time for me to get decent grades, just because I was also so focused on YouTube. So
you
I
used
was
to get picked on like for YouTube, or was it like did everyone at
I
school?
knew people were like, they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Look, so when you upload, maybe the day after when you go to school, like would they?
Oh yeah, they would.
Like pick on you, like, oh, look at this guy, what he's doing. They share his video, or was it like no one knew you were on YouTube? Were you like low key about it? How
I
was that?
was super low key about it. At some point, people find out in some way.
Yeah.
And then they're, you know, picking on your pronunciation, because you're 13 years old and you pronounce instead of Wednesday you say Wednesday because that's the way it's spelled. But yeah, so yeah, no, people were like, "What are you doing?" Of course, but
So you didn't really get from your friends from school, like, because when you're 13, you spend most of your time at school. It wasn't really supportive. It was more.
my friends were supportive.
Okay.
I mean, my
Yeah.
friends were. I mean, I have to be honest though. Like, I just made. I was 13. I didn't make great videos. But I was making videos with my friends. I mean, my friends are like great. But you just know that there's a lot of people, and your parents are supportive. Especially my dad. He was like, "It's fun that he's doing something like this," and yeah, I think that it just started from such a young age, and I never did anything else besides school and just working on my dream of YouTube.
That
And
was you, man.
I've been
That was you.
that is me. Like, YouTube is
That was
me,
you.
and I've been doing that for since then, and it's just always been 13 years old. I mean, again, I didn't make the greatest videos, but it wasn't like people were thinking this was gonna go anywhere. Then at some point you're 16 and you need to. So 3 years into every single time trying to upload every week and doing your homework till 1 and 2 a.m. and then wake up in the morning. That was like years of doing that with like no views, of course, or nothing real feedback, just a few hundred views a video. But I just liked doing it, and I just saw it going somewhere. And at some point it worked with like a first video with a water bottle trick shot where I got my first, because my parents wanted me to start working, which makes sense. Which is like they were like, everyone your age is now working. You gotta be earning. Like, you gotta learn what it is to
always
work.
Part of it, yeah.
18,
Yeah.
16, what?
16.
Like you have to make money now.
15, 15, 16. They were like, you need to start learning what working is like. What is this like? I mean, to be honest, I think I knew, especially at that age, what was putting in the work like, but they were like, you need to get to know the real world jobs, and fair, right? Your parents did want you to be.
And at
Yeah, they
16,
want the best for you.
were you like monetized by then, or?
I was
what
monetized, but the
okay.
paycheck was like 30 cents a month.
30 cents a month.
I made 30 cents, then I made 10
cents, not euros.
No. And then after that, I have a paycheck of 30 cents.
Oh my god.
And then after that, I have a paycheck of. I mean, it was for.
Yeah, so it was like you were working for free.
$10, $30 for the entire month. So $1 a day. I had a long time of $1 a day.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just saw it going somewhere, and I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Hey, you need to start doing something." Like, people are working in these. We live in an area with a lot of greenhouses or supermarkets or stuff like that. And they're like, you need to start working there to earn your first like $300 a month, because that's what people in your age group are earning.
Stand the cashier.
You took that advice in, like how did that go? How did you react to your parents? Because it's not like you were already making $300 from YouTube, so you were making nothing. And how did you take that advice? Did you subconsciously like say, maybe they're telling me to get out of YouTube and focus more on the real picture?
For me, it was.
For
me, it meant I was very. I was sort of closing up. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna do that, because that means for me that because I had no time. Like I said, I was doing pretty decent high level for school. Just and it was taking a lot of my time. I mean, I was struggling to get good grades, and I was spending an insane amount of time on these YouTube videos. I was uploading twice a week, which is just hours per video. So I was working already till I was putting in the work for whatever school videos until 1 or 2 a.m.
Shit.
And I was like, if that means I have to now get a job, I mean,
Something has to go otherwise.
something has to go, and it will be YouTube because you can't let school go. And I would probably still done YouTube because I love it, but it would have been like I would have grown way less fast in terms of myself learning how to make better videos. The process would have been so different because instead of 1 video a week or 2 video a week, you would have made 1 video a month, and then you wouldn't. The more videos you make, the more you learn about making videos. Because I still sucked.
Yeah.
And then I started pushing it more away in terms of like, I'm gonna make this work, and they were like, you now need to get an application for supermarket.
You went to work in a supermarket?
So I need to get an application.
Okay.
So I got the application, but
for the job.
Yeah, but I never filled it in because luckily in that same month, my first video with got like 100, like one of the first videos ever that got 100,000 views.
Shit.
Oh
Which one was that? Which video?
Water bottle flipping trend was that.
Okay.
It got like
you can't write this stuff, man.
it's crazy.
Right in time, like.
You literally can't write this stuff.
It's like it's crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. I had the application already.
What if, like, hey, think about things.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not gonna sign it.
That's surreal, man.
And then I made the first few $100, which was a bit more than what because I had to be earning $300.
Yeah,
it was a bit more than that I got
like
for a paycheck, and I was like, you see, this is
Take
possible.
that, mom.
No, but it makes sense. It makes sense because they are doing basically their job as a parent. You have to go
100%.
for, and then it just worked out that month, and I sort of proved that it is possible, but obviously you have to keep it up, and I tried to just keep it up, and then at some point, it just works from there, and it just
went from that €300 paycheck to your first studio, and now your new studio.
Yeah. And
so when did the first studio come into play? How did that go from the €300 to the studio? Like that's quite a jump.
So I was been doing it for pretty consistent, but that's where the story starts of the building up to the fitness content, that doing pretty well, and I was going to making what an average adult is making with YouTube paycheck, but obviously I didn't have any costs because I was living with my parents, so that was nice. But it's not something where you build any pension or something so it's not super safe still to be like, I'm gonna focus fully on YouTube. And it was doing all right. It was doing better and better at some point, but it was pretty still. But I felt like I needed a different space. I was done with my recording for 6-7 years in my backyard or in my house. I needed more creativity, and I knew what I want. I had an exact vision, what I needed to record more, better, and more fun videos. And that just worked out in a way where I was like, I need a space. A new space was being built. It was way too expensive because I made just a decent, a normal salary of 60,000 in a year.
Okay.
In a year, 60,000-70,000, and I was super proud of that. So I told my mom.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's good. From a YouTube, so.
Yeah, from YouTube.
Yeah, that's good.
From YouTube, or just the total. I maybe did some other. I was already maybe working with my protein at that point for a few $100 a month. I was super happy with that. But that's the space that we bought was 250,000.
You bought
it,
space?
not rent.
I bought it, but I that's not the money I made. Not the money I had. And then the next year, it started doing better and better right away from the beginning. And I was like, this is gonna. I want that space because I want to, even if I don't have the money, if it's all the money I have, I need that space because I want this. I love this. I want to work on this. Right now it's draining my creativity. I want to do this.
You had the vision, eh?
Yeah. So I got to a bank. They declined me. Another bank asked for, because they you can ask for obviously loans or.
Yeah, they didn't give you the loans.
No. They
with the 60,000-70,000, not even with that.
No, they because I didn't have my business for 3 years, my official business. So they were like, no, you're not gonna get it. And then we drove all the way, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Our appointment, they didn't even take seriously enough to put it in there. So we drove all the way back because we didn't have an appointment that day, apparently. My dad drove me there, absolute legend. And then he drove me again next time. Then they declined me. So that bank wasn't working. And then we worked with another bank. They're called Rabobank. There was just a younger guy working there. And he was like, I just love what you do.
He was a fan.
Let's do it.
Oh, damn, that's lovely.
He was just so good. It's just, he helped me so much as well by approving the concept. It was so nice. And we got the space. I could pay for it now. Decent % interest, of course, because they need to have some sort of security there. But we got the space and built it, renovated it, because it was completely empty. They were like,
but you built it yourself as well?
So there was like, it's like a warehouse, like smaller thing. They built them in just in masses, like a lot of them.
Industrial area.
Yeah, but it's like completely nothing in there. Like
Shell.
Like yeah. The ground had holes in it. You have to do everything yourself. No outlets anywhere, nothing. So it's just concrete.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And but that means we could build everything. So I invested, I don't even know, somewhere between 60 and 80,000 into it itself. Built everything I wanted. I invested a lot to build the place and just turned into everything I wanted. We started making content in that place, and I took the loan obviously for, I think, 20, 30 years or something. Year later, because I didn't like having a loan, but that guy just helped me so much. But a year later, I just paid off everything.
Wow.
So
So
now
that really paid.
Yeah.
That whole place was a
Yeah.
return on investment.
That was
Proof
the
of
game
concept.
changer. That's a game changer. That place helped a lot.
In sense of game changer, what did it really like?
Enable you to do, yeah.
Like, for some people, it might sound weird that it's like, oh, a lot of YouTubers do it from their house, right? So why is that a big change? But it's so weird to say to someone, I wanted to work together with more people. You can't say to someone, all right, let's work together. Like, come to my bedroom. Because I had the studio, in terms of the studio, the YouTube space, but I didn't have a house. Like, it's not my house. Like, I was still living with my parents.
Yeah.
So I can't say, let's meet in my bedroom. That's really weird. Internship, in my bedroom.
And you never considered like an office, neither. Like you never considered just moving out.
Yeah.
He knows what's up.
He knows. He's been in that. Okay, but like an office in terms of renting that out. That maybe that would have been an option, but now I could build my own gym, which would have backyard vibes in terms of there was fake grass on the ground, calisthenics park. We could do all challenges, everything we wanted. Added space up top. Obviously, everyone was kind of into, or everyone obviously preaches like divide work and life. That didn't really work for me, but it kind of made some sort of beginning there, because you could go home at some point, but I also still had the home office, like in my bedroom, just a PC with a.
You needed a space, eh?
Yeah.
You needed a space.
So now you have a bigger space. Take us through it. So you paid it out completely the year after. That's insane. And what was you were already thinking about another space then, or like?
Not then. That's been for the past year-ish. I was like, the team is growing bigger and bigger. So that's also a game changer, because I could now have more people to be there. Because at some point it's just everyone.
The first studio. And what year was that? The first studio?
That was 2019, 2020.
Okay.
You were 19 years old, man.
I was.
And now you
Nice,
moved into
Sten.
the new place, new studio.
The new studio. We just got the new studio, which is it's just an add-on. So we still have the other one. It's like a few hundred meters from that one. But because the team has been growing so big right now, we have to. If we record certain videos, we can't ask everyone to be silent for the next 3 hours. That just doesn't. It's not a nice workspace. No. You want to have the workspace to be nice and be somewhere where you want to come. So, and also, we want to have it better, faster, and more optimized, so we don't have to focus on. Because I love setting up lights and stuff like that. Like, I love it. Like, literally, I think it's super fun to see what you can create with lights. But if you have to have the same set over and over, after the third time, it's not that fun anymore. It just takes time, because you know what the set is going to be. There's nothing new creative there. It's just, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I want that to be able to be switched on and focus creativity on another part, on the video itself or on something else.
Oh, it's
Nice.
mad.
I was gonna say something and I just got lost.
Like the whole entrepreneurship, like inside you, like that I never really expected. Like when you came here, like I kind of see the front face of Stan Browney, but like seeing the grind and seeing the hustle behind you, bro, it's like that, and that's why we call like this series Bulletproof and Beyond, because it really takes us beyond the actual face and more into the actual person.
Yeah.
And like spending time with you, like just now, it makes me when you leave, like I'm gonna like we need to work X amount of time. We need a place like that. It just makes you feel like that energy, and I think it's really nice that people see this side and see how far you've come as a person and as an individual. So you are not like, even the fact that you speak English when you're not even English, and you communicate this to 2.5 million people.
Yeah.
From hardly having any friends in school and talking to speaking to people from around the world. Even when you came to to Malta, we're at the challenge. This is a country of 500,000 people, which is usually very disconnected to the whole high level of content and social media. And these kids are coming up to you for photos. That's mad, dude.
Yeah, crazy. I didn't expect that in Malta as well, but it's. I mean, you guys obviously like English is a very.
I told you about like you might get a couple of people from the English-speaking communication.
Yeah, that happened. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Even the whole point of people. A lot of people find easy ways to make excuses. Because I don't know. He's good at videos, or he's been there for a long time. Even that, you were 19 and you took a 280,000 euro loan. That's a big.
It was a big
risk.
loan.
That's a risk, man.
Yeah, and something like I don't think anyone.
At
like
19, man.
If you go to a 40-year-old person in the bank, or any person, any like potential like you needed investment or something, like they think you're crazy,
Yeah, and that's that's what I felt like, because it felt like I was crazy, but I just knew it.
You knew it, man.
And I can speak from our point of view. Like right now, we're in that phase where we have like this office space. Doesn't feel like our brand, and like we're looking into something like of this kind of space that you're talking about. Like it could be like a villa, or like that could kind of be fitness content house oriented, where we can shoot in multiple places. Like we took Sean there the other day, and he was saying like the garage could be a setup, and this home gym could turn into a setup. And I think it's a game changer in terms of not only just the operation and how fast you can turn over stuff, and having that experience of people working from such a place like that, but it's also the opportunity that it creates, and from a front end facing thing, like this is who we are, and this is what we stand for.
It's the heart of the brand. Even like we were saying, when athletes like yourself and continue to come down, it's a space where you guys can obviously live and create content there as well. So just a completely different concept. Yeah,
our idea is like to create this mad fitness content house, an actual villa. And since we're really trying to communicate Malta as this potential destination fitness, we think that's something like that. And when you're talking about this and you're saying that you took a loan and how it paid off, and I'm thinking from our parallels, like...
Don't get me wrong. It's not like I say to everyone, if you have an idea, take an insane big risk. But if you just... Sometimes you just know. When at that point, I was 1,000,000% certain, like there was no one who was gonna like tell me otherwise. Like, do you need this space? I was like, I know I need it. I know where I'm gonna use it for. I know exactly what I want. It was like now building the other studio. I knew like, can we? Because I'm just looking objectively. Can we work around this? And do we need an entire new building? No, but will it make things more efficient and easier and nicer? Yeah. Okay, so that's why. But that point, I just knew it was almost the only option I had for what I had envisioned, and it just
there was no plan B.
No.
B.
That was it.
Love that.
Obviously, still stuck on the whole studio thing. That's I'm seeing the position you were in, that we could be in terms of that we know a jump type of thing, which is a big risk, but opportunities could be
and it's
endless, and we want that risk, and we want to take that on. Full steam ahead, tunnel vision. I'm really interested because now I understand the wavelength of, your mind and your process, and the level of depth in thinking. So from your perspective, how do you see like a brand or a project like what we're doing? And do you have any advice, or maybe where you could see things going? I'm interested.
Well, so I see that because I don't want to say that like if you have an idea, take all the risks, go all out. That's not the advice or the thing that I try to say. But for you guys have been doing this for 3 years.
3 years now.
And now there's a great, like a good chance you have this moment where you're like, I just know where this is going or where we need to go. And this normally happens after years of work already, and you just need to take a risk to go to that next level. It's not something you do without any experience. And you guys know your brand way better than I do.
Like we didn't know, like 3 years ago, we're going to be sitting down, you know, filming a podcast with you and with the athletes that we have coming to Malta. It was completely not there.
No idea.
But our idea is going forward, just to give you an idea, and you can bounce off what Scott's saying, is that we want to kind of build this fitness content house thing where there's like fitness, lifestyle, and there's a mix of the entertainment around that, and become like this hub where athletes like yourself come down and we just create content where there's no strings attached. Like we're not filming any campaign or ad. It's just, we're going to have this potential thing and we can just do this kind of sort of thing. And all the athletes feel like we're in this space together and we're just going to have a good time and we're all going to maximize each other's.
And it's like that you know, super utopia thing I told you before, where essentially the goal is to really somehow get the best around who we believe can really pass on the message and provide so much value to everyone, to as many people as possible, if it's inspiration, motivation, education, if it's entertainment, if it's, you know, any sort of aspect through this collective unit, in a sense, which is the house, the villa, the brand.
I think if your goals right now is to create something like that, what you just described, then that is definitely a great next step. It's just about athletes coming over to stay, make epic content, stuff like that, and then show that to the outside world. Obviously, not exactly sure how the business model there works for you guys, so because that needs to be healthy as well, of course, to enjoy and know what you're doing. But that sounds like a logical next step to make that happen in a way that hasn't really been done before or hasn't really been properly done before, maybe by certain brands like a Gymshark that is able to get these people over in a certain way but not in the same style as this. That sounds like a very nice...
like have no product, you know, and...
there's no strings attached. But again, like if there's no strings attached, you guys need to make a business out of this as well. But if you can make that viable, then
obviously you come up with the right business model where this is like, there's always an end game or there's a legacy in a brand. It's either you're going to grow something for the legacy and do something through it, or you're going to obviously funnel for an exit game. You know, it's a buyout. It's a number. You know, so then it's obviously you could utilize all of this to create new products or services or brands. You know, to obviously leverage the in-house
then I would
resources, and you sort of go into that type of sphere. You know,
the only thing I would say is just get the content right, just because it looks like if it's for branding and just getting it out
it's
there,
more of like
you need to have
that legacy.
You need to have the content creation right when people are in that house, but then it sounds like a very viable option.
Slowly. So like as in terms of monetization for us, we feel like it will come and we will know naturally what we want to create, because I feel like going down the line there's a lot of different avenues and revenue streams that we can create through the in-house team that we have. And obviously from a platform standpoint, and then since a lot of people already come to our platform to learn more, to be better, to achieve more, then it could eventually turn into this platform where we are offering some services in terms of like education, be it in fitness, be it in lifestyle, and have maybe the collaborators that we are working with taking all a share, so everyone is winning at the end of the day. So it's like, how can we create then like if we're already winning together in this house, how can we win together and also flourish through that? So potentially that could be the next step. And we know that will come as a result of the work that we're putting in today.
Makes sense.
So going back to this, as in not going back to this because we're going to stay on the same topic. What is the plan for you in the next...
What's the plan, Stan?
2-3 years, Stan?
For me, that's finally someone asked 2 to 3 years, because 5 years is impossible to say for me in terms of how fast everything is going. But if I look in 2 years, I want to have what I do even more nailed down in terms of the stuff that I don't like, in terms of, like I said, just the planning and stuff like I have that nailed down to a phase where I just I'm not sure if I can be not involved in any of the processes. I mean, sometimes you can, but I feel like it's very hard for me mentally to do that.
I do feel you're a trustworthy person, though. Like you trust Andre a lot with a lot of stuff. I feel like you can eventually get out of that kind of, because sometimes people who are wanting to do that leap have a lot of trust issues, but I feel like you're really working with a lot of competent people, so there's a lot of trust.
It comes down to who you work with.
It's also, then that's where you indeed need years or months to experience someone, and then so all that stuff, have that more productive in a way where it doesn't take as much time from me right now. But I want to be in a good space with my creativity, so I keep making new content, innovative content, and just focus on that. At the same time, which is sort of hand in hand goes with that. I don't need, if in order for that to happen and for Sten Browney or the team to flourish, because that's something I focus on. It needs to do well because I now have a lot of people working in the company. I need to kind of provide for these people. There's more pressure. I want that to feel like I don't need to work 10 hours a day to make that sort of feel like I'm providing for them, but that is just more productive.
Self-sufficient, yeah.
And I can actually do stuff with my friends and family and girlfriend. Yeah. That's where I would like to be in 2 years.
Sounds great. And content aside, any other projects, maybe not so heavily content focused, that you've thought about or want to work on?
Not content focused.
Maybe it's not the main drive of it, but content will be created through what you want to create. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just a project.
Could be a product.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Right now, we're working on an app. So that is taking months already. We're working on that. I want that to be perfect. Version 1 does not need to be perfect, but it needs to be needs to be working. It needs to be nice, because otherwise people have a bad association with the name, and that's the thing I'm most afraid of, because we're working so hard and thinking every single step, design step, everything is thought out UI, 10 times.
UX, offerings. And what does the app have?
It's a 90-day challenge. We have a 90-day challenge series on the channel, and it's 90-day challenge.
Love these numbers.
So people can join their own. They can fill in their variables, so their goals, height, weight, anything, and then a program will be created for them, and everything from step A to Z should be mapped out for them for the next 90 days. And then after the 90 days, you have a clear progress in front of you. Yeah, transformation, and then you can. It's like. You have to stay focused for 90 days on these goals, and maybe you want to change your goals after 90 days, and then you can switch them, and then a new 90-day challenge will be created.
I was going to tell you what happens when you're done. Like,
imagine
I use the 90 days. Like, am I done as a client, or?
Oh, you've made a 90-day transformation depending on your goals, and after that you can renew, and there will be a new 90-day transformation, which is next level, harder, new things. More focused on strength if that's what you want. More focused on muscle building if that's what you want.
You think the percent will be high of the
renewal
challenge?
The renewals,
yeah.
Yeah, I think because a 90-day challenge is it's your workout app. So it's your workout plan. If you don't, I think people like to focus on the goal, which is like if you start a workout plan on an app, you're just like, I have this plan, and it's just something I do weekly, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a 90-day challenge, it's something that you don't even have to, but it's like something you focus on for 90 days, and then you can switch. It doesn't feel like you have to you stay stuck to something, or it's just shorter period of time where you're focused on something, and then you can change your focus or interest. And I definitely think that can be very interesting for an individual, rather than just doing the same workout program for...
I think it's brilliant because there's a start and there's an end, and it's not too long where
it's not too
people
long.
Drop off, but there's that nice way to keep people consistent and a bit of that daily motivation to start to get to the end goal.
Yeah, because the next 90 days, you have to see it as you can do it in your own way. Like you can just tailor it again, and we will roll out a new program for that with like diet tips as well and everything. So it will just roll out for your goals.
You can have a lot of iterations to the product, like you're saying. You have what you want, you set a standard, and then you keep on evolving.
Yeah, you keep improving, because if you go to the next level, you can say, I want to do body weight only. Maybe the next 90 days you want to do weighted body weight as well. You want to add that as well. We can add that as well, and then you can start getting better with your weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, for example, or whatever. So
it's training, strength-focused training as an offering in terms of a 90-day challenge, not maybe more, I don't know, daily habits or routine changes or waking up at 5 a.m. and all of this type of...
That's a good question.
Like, what's the variety of this app?
It's workout related right now and diet. But in the app, we are after the first versions, because that could just confuse more people. But after the first, like V1, we will try to incorporate different extensions where people can buy on productivity, or they can buy or an add-on, or take a subscription maybe on waking up at 5 a.m. Like we'll just
maybe 90-day breathing with Wim Hof.
Exactly.
You know,
And
but
we
this
would love
cool
to work
holistic stuff, you know?
we would love to work with big names to have their own class on
Yeah.
there as well at some point, and then they can offer that there, and they get a percentage obviously of the extra added sales there.
This is like your first product that you're launching apart from the YouTube, so. Or have you ever
I've done a few other things. I've also done. We have a platform called the 90-Day Challenge, but it's a one set course where it goes. It's basically what the app will be doing way better, but it's because a course online is not super tailored to everyone.
Yeah, it's a generic PDF type of thing.
Yeah, but it's not a PDF because that's something I didn't want. It's like designed, took also 7 months to make with designers and everything. So we put in the work there. But it's about, you have to decide your own level and you get all the information, the PDF. There is a PDF which is like 80 pages or something, which you can link to. And if you're in the PDF, you can click on a link which will bring you into the platform, which has videos with explanation, stuff like that. So there's more to it. But people have to sort of, it's for beginners mainly folks, but also any level. They have to figure out your own stuff, and then you can go into that. And you can progress like crazy there. We've seen crazy results, but the app will do the figuring out for you.
Yeah, it's a user flow PDF that's now just going to be on steroids on an app.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's a good wrap for the main pod. We've got some quick questions and with an interesting
twist
surprise for you. This time, I didn't decide to share the surprise with you, to keep it a surprise.
Yeah, he always shares a surprise already with me.
But we found out that your favorite drink is milk. So we've got a game of quick-fire questions. If you decide not to answer the question, then you gotta take a shot of milk.
The milk is actually Maltese milk. We have two. We have normal. We have protein milk. We had to get you some protein milk. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm more interested.
More protein milk.
Milk, I hate milk.
But you're gonna try the milk in the challenge. You're gonna try the protein milk after, Sten.
Okay.
Come on, man.
So, shall we get the milk?
Yeah, get the milk.
Oh, my days.
All right.
So what do I need to do?
So
with
that's grade A Maltese milk.
So we're gonna ask you a question.
I have a glass of milk right here.
Yeah, you have a glass of milk. So we're gonna ask you these tough questions. If you do not want to answer them, then you gotta take a couple of sips of the milk.
So I just every single time I don't want to answer, I just don't say anything. I just do.
Just go straight to it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So tell us everything about the guy in the blue shirt.
Okay, that's an easy one. Thank you for starting with that. Guy in blue shirt, Arjen. He's called Arjen Albers. That's his Dutch name, but he's better known as the guy in blue shirt or Captain America, because he can do anything. He's insanely strong, but also in real life, he just pushes through things that make no sense, and he's good at everything. And you say, tell me everything about the guy in the blue shirt. What I will tell you as well is that he is a very nice guy. People probably know that already. What you don't know is that he is still maybe in university, working very hard on that. Plays high-level badminton as well, besides working out every single day.
Captain America.
He's very
Captain Badminton now.
He's very good at that. Really good on the guitar as well. He does a lot. He's the perfect boyfriend, basically. That's why he's my boyfriend.
Shout out to the guy in the blue shirt who's not making Stan drink any milk at the moment.
Thanks, man.
And there's some good ones.
Now I'm getting nervous.
I'm gonna ask him the next one.
Yeah, go for it.
Stan Browney, how much money do you make on YouTube?
Shall I drink for the fun of it?
To you. Chug it, man.
I'm so glad it's refrigerated, because then it has less taste.
You really don't like it that much?
I mean, I would not drink this normally. No. Was that enough?
Damn it, I wanted you to answer that one. Another question. Tell me 3 people you hated working with.
But full name, address as well.
Or wait, I'll go for this one. Your worst collab.
I'm actually, funny enough, I started doing collabs recently because I never knew how to incorporate them into the videos. So to say the worst collab since then, I don't think I can say a name without it making a lot of sense because I haven't really been disappointed by a lot, but that's a disappointing answer. So I will just drink.
Okay.
It was very hard to come up with these type of questions for you.
I do have another one though, because I thought there were more, but I'm gonna come up with one in my head. Your most embarrassing story in your life.
Most embarrassing story. Whoa. I mean, a pro of being alone a lot is that there's nothing really embarrassing, but there has to be something embarrassing. Fun to think about, but I don't want to let you guys wait 10 minutes. Most embarrassing.
Andre, we're asking him questions. Basically, if he doesn't answer, he has to drink milk.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some good questions there.
I'm not gonna make it send me more of that milk.
Legend.
He's got your back, yeah?
He's got my back, yeah.
Andre, I like you even more now. Damn it.
What's your CPM?
My CPM. That's a good question. That's actually I want to share that. CPM or RPM. I'll tell you both from the past. Whatever, 28 days.
Okay.
What is? Do you want to explain CPM? Or
I have a good question too now.
CPM is basically what YouTube pays you per 1,000 views, but it doesn't really because that's the RPM. But RPM, CPM, $3.85 RPM. CPM is even impossible to find anymore, which is probably
RPM is what?
RPM. RPM is what you get exactly. So because the CPM is around 850.
It's good.
It's
average.
It's average, yeah.
What's the most money you made off a YouTube video?
Come on, Stan.
You want to?
I want to know.
You
I
wanna
don't want
know.
to see you drink milk.
Depends. I actually wouldn't even know.
So, Stan, we're going to play higher or lower on the most money you've made off one YouTube video.
Okay.
Shall we go?
Yes.
50,000.
Higher. I think
70,000.
lower. Because it's your guess. Why was your guess that good?
It's gonna be like 52,000.
60 G's?
That's what. But what made you guess that?
I don't know, just your sort of amount of views, you know, couple years.
times your most viewed video.
60 grand? 60 G's?
62.
Nice.
Not
Nice.
bad.
That is an
That was
insanely
quick.
a good guess for your first guess.
Nice. When was the best month of videos you've ever had?
That was actually last year, end of last year when I had one video that was extremely viral, where unliftable dumbbell.
Mm-hmm.
That video,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, that video.
Nice.
That's the best month. I think it was also 60 in 1 month.
You should
And-
bring that back with a public challenge on that.
We did.
And last question, let's go back into the red. The most money you spent on a YouTube
Yeah,
video.
I was gonna ask that.
The most money I've spent on a YouTube video.
In terms of all the resources, the costs.
Yeah, that must be a transformation we're doing right now, which is gonna be costing. It's definitely the transformation videos. I think those are all because of the logistics. What we do. So we got someone from Canada, even with a friend, flew over here,
Oh.
got him a hotel B&B to stay in,
Oh, damn.
supplies, fly back. Fly there, fly back. Now he's flying back again, so that's gonna cost anywhere above $10,000. So, like I said, maybe even in this video, I think in this podcast I mentioned 15K. It's gonna be
That.
a lot.
Yeah.
At least for me, that's a lot to spend because there's no way you are certain that's what's gonna make it back.
Yeah.
But it's also just again branding and just an epic episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nick,
we're
anything
good.
else? Anything you have in mind? Or?
I was going to ask him the most embarrassing thing in the gym, but
I was gonna ask you.
I'm not really in the
Yeah.
gym
yeah,
I was
no.
gonna ask you one thing. What's the one thing you don't like about yourself?
about myself.
About yourself. You seem like a critical thinker, so I said I'll throw you that.
There's there's multiple things. Everything. No.
Scott looks like a therapist, you know.
Tell me, Stan.
What is the thing you dislike about yourself and why?
Tell me, Stan.
I would say there's multiple things. I think one is that I'm always late. Like when I am working on a project and I say so when I'm going to be there at that time, I'm never there.
Same here.
Yeah. Which is just not a good habit, a nice thing to have. I mean, for meetings or stuff, I would be on time because even if I just sign in randomly, but I will be on time. But everything that's not work related, I can be too late because then I'm just finishing something else. But that's just not a nice thing to do. And besides that, I think overthinking, which is just a bad habit of, because some people describe, I wouldn't describe as a perfectionist, but a perfectionist, such a better like a good thing or whatever. But if you're a perfectionist or if you're something like that, that's not a good habit because then you overthink certain things that are not even important. Which I don't like the word perfectionist because you're not making something more perfect. You're just overthinking and making it worse. And I think that's what I do with a lot of things. Which is just takes a lot of time, makes the content sometimes worse, so it's not a good habit.
That is the best way to describe the word perfectionist.
The best way, yeah, right? Because it sounds so positive or something, but it's not a positive thing, and it's not far from. You shouldn't. It's just a bad habit.
It's not efficient.
If someone says they're perfectionist, it's like it's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
What is perfect?
And I have one more question. What's your favorite food and what's your least favorite food?
Oh, easy. For least favorite food.
Rabbit and snails favorite?
Least favorite food, coriander, cilantro, like that tastes like straight up soap to me. If you add a bit of that to anything, some people that can't relate are like, it's not that bad. It ruins an entire meal. In just a bit, I can't eat it.
Coriander is
so specific, man.
Yeah, but it's I have a very bad relationship with it because in the UK, for example, they add it to everything. Everything, and I can't eat the entire meal. Like it's just you have to imagine if you grab soap and someone's like, here's your meat or burrito or whatever, and they just add a shit on a soap to it. You're not gonna eat it, right? Because that's just chemicals.
Yep.
That's what it feels like to me. It's really, really bad. Favorite food, just for the fun of it, I would probably say regular food. I have something for meat, good meat, like ribs
I saw
or
that
something.
coming.
Oh, we saw that.
I saw that coming.
We have to take you, I think, tonight if we have time to this place in Slima.
Yeah. Oof.
It's
bro.
like I have just there's
Best
Bro.
Argentinian steak, bro. I'll actually call them literally like now, see if they have a space for us.
So Stan Browney, Branik, yes?
Branning.
one more time.
Branik.
That was pretty decent. You heard it once.
Brannick.
Yeah.
Browning.
When I want to
Browning.
listen, Stan, when I want to listen, I listen.
Yeah, you.
Right? So that's
And
good.
also, before this, I want to actually listen to him as well. Say a sentence in
Yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
Because I've never heard him speak Dutch before.
So you know that's it. I thought he was American or Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Stan, your favorite body part to train and your least favorite body part to train?
Favorite body part to train is for me. Definitely, it is like back, but it's also mainly just skills focused or stuff like that. I really like, but back. I do like to go hard on a leg workout as well, because it's fun. But I don't want my legs to grow bigger, because that makes calisthenics very hard, especially the things that I can't do yet, any like planche or stuff like that. But at least favorite, calves. Obviously, calves is. But I never really trained them. I only trained them for video once. I'm lucky that I have good calf genetics for because of my dad, I think, and playing football. But I'm
which position do you play in football?
Sorry?
I see you
I'm gonna
play
try
like which
guess.
position. I'm gonna give a guess.
Oh.
Wait, don't say.
tell us. We're gonna try guess each.
I know
Say-
you're wrong.
please
You're
say.
gonna be wrong.
You say, and then I'll say. And
If
then
you
he's-
tell him you're gonna be wrong, then goalkeeper.
Wait, I'm gonna say
CDM.
CDM. I think he's a left winger.
Goalkeeper.
CDM.
Know anything about football? No clue.
Not a clue.
No clue.
Striker.
Yes.
What? Stan is like,
I see that.
what you'd like Cristiano Ronaldo that shit in and everything?
Yeah, that's me.
I see him
But then
like
at the lowest level.
a Klaas-Jan
With those
Huntelaar.
cuffs? I'm joking.
Yeah.
I see him as a poacher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an attacker, like striker.
Nice.
So that's but yeah, I mean,
Stan playing football, man.
football. I mean, there's an insanely nice
used to
field.
play. We
There's an
actually met.
insanely nice field
Yeah.
here. With
We
like,
actually met playing football.
We met playing
We
football.
used to play
if you
together,
if you guys still want to do some
national
cardio,
team,
then
yeah,
we got to do that.
We
'cause-
should go play a bit.
Yeah, we should.
Tomorrow we're gonna have a pitch, so we
True.
can explore a bit
True,
for
true,
5-10
true.
minutes.
We should.
See the skills.
We should. And Stan, obviously, it was great having you for a week in Malta. We still have a lot of interesting content to do.
Yeah.
What's your take? Would you actually live in a place like Malta?
I actually discussed this here with Andre on with other people. I actually really like the Netherlands for the fact that it's perfectly boring, in a way where there's like it just works so well. It's a
No
great country.
distractions.
It's just great, and then you can go to nice place like Malta on trips like this and enjoy that a lot. But I would not move to. I don't think I would move to any other country. Yeah.
Stan, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
brother.
us on this, being a part of this project and vision. You know, I hope this is the first of many times we work together, you and Andre and the boys.
Yeah, of course.
You want to sign out in Dutch now?
100%. So, which camera should I choose? That one, that camera, oké. Bedankt allemaal voor het kijken. Abonneer. Like. En ik zie jullie in de volgende episode.
so different.
You should see you on the next episode.
Yeah, but actually episode is aflevering. So I just...
Afleven.
Ending off a video in Dutch is something I have never done. So I just go to... I'm also thinking like. But yeah, like is... People say
Yeah,
like.
I realize you're looking for your words.
Yeah. But hey, it's... I just said thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and see you in the next episode.